Okay, so now since we got the response, let's process this response and save it to our Google Sheet. Let me just show you how you can do that. As you can see in the output, we have some qualifiers like this. See, these two things we don't want because we want to process it as JSON. So first thing that we have to do will be to remove it. So in order to do that, we'll make use of the default text parser replace module of make itself. So we'll use that. So let's click on this replace option. And here in the pattern section, we'll use the pattern. So we want to replace anything like this or this. So we want to replace it with new value. So new value will just add one space so that it will replace with an empty space. And then we'll select global match as true and also multi-line also true, because otherwise it will exit after one execution. We don't want that. And in this text, we have to give the input as this one, which is the answer from Relevance AI. And we can save this. So now this will replace the JSON and other qualifiers from this one, and we'll get a clean JSON value. Now the clean JSON we have to process with the help of JSON parser. So there is default JSON parser available with make.com. So here we'll use this parse JSON module. So once we select this parse JSON, we don't need to select a data structure because it is clean JSON, so you don't have to worry about that. And in the JSON string section, we'll give the text, which is the output of the text parser after replacing those unnecessary items with space. So we'll save this. Now we have to run it once again so that we'll know the data is getting and we'll be able to save it to Google Sheet. So let me just save it first. So you can just ignore the message because it can't be the JSON parser, which will be the last item. So we'll click on run once, we'll click on run anyway. Now it is waiting for the submission. Let me just copy the same message and let me just delete this message. So I deleted this message because that is irrelevant. Now let me just come here and populate the fields once again and add the original message. So let me just submit it once again. So now the submission is done. So now it will check with the agent once again to get the relevant information. And here, see this one. It is parsing the data. So this is the input. And if you look at the output will be without that JSON qualifiers. And after parsing, you will get all this information. So now comes the final step. So final step is to edit our Google Sheet with all the information. So what we can do is we can actually remove this add row because we don't need to write multiple times. Only at the end we need to write. But if you want to be fail safe, you can just keep it there so that even if Relevance AI is not able to process the data because of the quota issue or something, your contact information will still be saved. So we'll just use update a row in Google Sheet. So you can go to Google Sheet and select this module, which is update a row. So I'll select this update a row option, make sure to select the proper connection. Then here I'm going to select search method. I'm going to select as search from all and I'll search for my experiment. So this is the sheet name that I have. And here sheet name, I don't want it to be map so that I can select from the dropdown. So I'll select contact form sheet name and row number, which row I want to update. I'll use the same row number from our Google Sheet previous module. So this is the row number. So I'll select this row number as 2. And here, date, first name, last name, email, phone, message. So these things are already filled. We want to fill the remaining details based on the data that we receive from our Relevance AI agent. So we'll select the sentiment, and here you can use this intent as the sentiment. Then when it comes to relevance score, we have the relevance score. Then category, we can select the category. Then a business switch, we can make use of this business switch section. Then key indicators, we can select this. See, this will be an array of items depending on how many key indicators are there. Then reasoning, we can select this reasoning section. Recommended action, we can select the recommended action section. And priority level also we'll be able to select accordingly. Okay. And like I mentioned, this suggested response and leave status. Leave status we can maybe add, say something like new open like this we'll be able to give. So what you do is it will collect the data, it will save the contact from submission information. Then using Relevance AI agent, it will process the message and it will identify these items and save it to a Google Sheet. So let's save this one. Let me just save it once again. And remember to save your scenario. Our setup and scenario is ready. Now we'll be able to test this. Make sure to have the scenario run immediately as data arrays. Make sure that this is enabled. So once it is done, we are now ready to test our setup.